You have one unheard message.
Okay, it's 3 a.m. My shoes are gone. Was there. And my Uber rating is definitely a 0. You are not ready for this story.
Hi guys, it's Davis Rowe and welcome to another episode of It's Always Something. I'm your host, Davis Rowe, and today we are going to talk about building your personal brand. But this is my podcast, so I guess we're going to talk about building my personal brand and everything that's come with it, everything I've learned, and kind of how I got to where I am today. So I know I've talked a few times online about, as I just said, how I got to where I am today, which is beautiful, perfect, amazing, and everything in between, right? Took the words right out of your mouth. But, you know, there's ups, there's downs, and everything in between, and I feel like we should talk about it. I've said before, kind of the initial start to me getting into social media, so I'll just quickly sum it up. It was just, my account got deleted, I made a new account, and then I kind of just started posting a bunch of random shit, and then it took off, and here we are. But it wasn't until recently, I think getting a podcast especially is something that really helped with it, but it wasn't until recently that I feel like I really established like a brand for myself, and it's something that's so interesting in this world of influencers and social media. I listened to, I don't know if it was on her podcast or just like in a TikTok, but Alex Earl was saying how it's so weird when she's doing all of these things with her team, how like it's for her, like it's for Alex Earl, but Alex Earl is also a brand in herself. And that was something that was super relatable to me because being in the field, I experienced like, you know, the same things. So you guys are going to see my like toe reach of turning my computer on. Don't mind me. But I feel like there's always a lot of assumptions. Posting yourself online opens up conversations of people feeling like they can like talk about you and say whatever. And a lot of it's true, but a lot of it isn't. So today we are gonna not only bust the myths, but I'm gonna answer some questions at the end. I had you guys submit to my Insta story, which if you're not following me on Instagram, not to like plug myself, but make sure you do because I always do like fun little stuff like this and I love to hear what you guys have to say. And I did a little poll and I asked you guys to make assumptions about me. And I was like, don't worry, I won't come for your neck. Like be as fucking mean as you want. Like actually you come for my neck and we'll go with it. So that's something exciting that will be at the end of this episode. But for now, I wanted to ask myself a few questions that I feel like are gonna set the tone for this episode. So first question, what has my brand cost me? That's such a great question as if I didn't write it down and ask myself it. I would say my brand has definitely cost me a lot of friends and a lot of people in my life to exit. I mean, a lot of people don't like to have their life like publicly online, and that's super understandable and super valid. But in that same breath, there's also a lot of people who extremely want to be online and want to be involved in your life, and it's hard to navigate that and kind of know almost like what's real and what isn't in a way. And so I would just say my brand has definitely cost me some friends. Freshman year, when I was really like doing all of this and getting into it, it was obviously like not the most serious thing, but it was serious to me, you know? And I think there's a lot of people who laughed or said things. And now it's like senior year and there's a lot of those same people who are coming back being like, oh my gosh, like you're really doing it. You're doing this and that. And it's like, if you were to have been doubting me for this long and many years, like I don't want your approval now because it didn't matter to me then. Why would it matter now? And I feel like that's a big thing for me and something that my brand has costed me. And another good question is, another good question, I get asked these myself, but they are great. I'm a really good interviewer, questioner, whatever you want to call it. But what is my brand? That's a really great question. I would say my brand is being yourself, not being perfect, rolling with the punches, and not taking things too deeply. A lot of the times, I am completely myself online. Like, don't get me wrong. But a lot of the times, there's certain things that I do because it goes with my brand. Like, for example, I'll completely call myself out. Do I lie online? No, but I definitely exaggerate. I talked about this in my last episode because my brother will always call me out for it. But it's like, they're boys. I always use the same expression. I'm like, if I'm not going to add a little extra zhuzh to my story, it's like a chef not adding seasoning to their food. Like it's what you do. Okay. And I made a video one time about my experience with ClassPass, right? I was like, oh my God, my dad called me and was like, no, my dad didn't call me, but I was scared of the call. I was foreshadowing, okay? And I'm like, I use ClassPass. And I tell my dad, it's for my classes. It's ClassPass. Like, it's for my classes, it's for me to be able to go to math, for me to be able to ace my science test. Like, I need ClassPass, okay? I filmed a full video about that. That was a lie. Well, what was a lie is the fact that I have ClassPass. I don't even have ClassPass. I've heard of it, but I don't have it. So how did that story come to be? I was on a walk with my best friend, Maddie, who you guys know and you love. And she was telling me that. She was like, Davis, like, I fully use ClassPass and my mom thinks it's for my classes. And I was like, wait, that is the funniest fucking thing ever. And if she had social media, I'd be like, you need to say that online. But she doesn't. And you know who does? Her best friend. And I was like, I'm totally going to use that and use it as content and make a story about it. And I did that. And it literally, I think, got me like 10,000 followers. And it's like, do I feel bad and do I feel like I was lying and do I feel guilty for that? Absolutely fucking not, because that is completely my brand. My dad even texted me and he's a dad. So I was honestly expecting him to be like, what do I pay for? Like, what are you saying? Because obviously if I start a video being like, Dad, don't watch this, he's going to watch it. I mean, if you saw the video, hey, Davis, don't watch this, bitch. I'm fucking watching. I'm grabbing my popcorn and I'm taking notes, And he literally texted me being like, that was brilliant. Like, he thought it was a paid collab with ClassPass. And I was like, no, it was just something that I thought was on brand and is something I would do. And he's like, yeah, that totally is something you would do, sadly. And so I made it into content. And I think business is business. And I think that sums it up very perfectly right there. I don't think it's lying if it goes with your brand. Is this me just like calling myself out? I don't really know. Same way, my guy friends, this is such a funny story. So I'm at my guy friend's house and they have if you ever been to a man's house, like they have like the weirdest array, is that the right word? Arranged? No. Array of things. Like you'll find like a random Pokemon card or like a random little like dinosaur statue. And they're like, oh my God, that's like I don't know. Okay, right? So I'm in their little like knickknack section of my guy friend's house and I find a toast. Like, the full blown like toast like you Apple Pay on at a restaurant. They had one of those in their house. And I was like, where'd you get this? And he was like, I stole it from the bar. Like I didn't want to pay my tab, so I just took the whole toast. Honestly, iconic, maybe illegal, but two things can be true at once. Something can be illegal and still be iconic, And I saw that and I was like, wait, work smarter, not harder. Like that'd be a great TikTok for me to make. So, if you do in the future see me acting like I got home from a night out and stole a toast, it was just a bit. And again, don't think that all of my TikToks are lies or like not true because sadly, I wish I could say a lot of them are skits. They're not. Sadly, the ones I want to be skits are not. Honestly, the future toast one and the ClassPass one are the only times I've done that. But when you are building your personal brand, I think it's smart and business is business to know what is your brand, what would add to it. And it's almost like, you do these little skits. I mean, I think each time that I post a TikTok, even though, yes, 9.9 out of 10 times it's completely true and something that actually happened, I say it in a way or explain it in a way and speak in a way that just adds to it and adds to my brand. And I think that's like one of the smartest things you can do. What has my brand given / taught me? I think that like just to, as much as social media is fun and I love doing it, it's also like my job at the end of the day. And I think it's really important to keep up with that, keep the audience entertained. And once you have like a niche and a brand, you do things that align with that and go with that. And another question I get asked a lot when talking about my brand is, what does my family think? They absolutely love it. I mean, they think it's like the coolest thing ever that I have a place where I can like completely be myself and have so many people who are rooting for me and in my corner. But some of my extended family has definitely been like, what the fuck is going on? Why is she posting this? What is happening? Like I know some people in my extended family obviously were just like didn't understand it and were like, why is she posting this online? Like, I feel like that's going to completely trash her future, like not want her to work with future employers, like not be a good look. But it's like, ever think that this could be my future, you know? And I think my parents specifically and my siblings obviously do a really great job at understanding the brand itself. Like they'll literally send me stuff and be like, this would be so funny for you to do, or like you should look into posting something like this, or you should even go to this event and film it, just whatever it may be. Like there'll be a music festival and my mom would be like, wait, you have to go, it'll be such good content. So not only does my family love it, they definitely encourage it, but there's always going to be people who just don't understand it, you know, which is on them, not on you. So do I actually not give a fuck? No, not one. No, I'm kidding. I think that is a funny question because I've talked about this before. It's like, give a fuck about what? Do I give a fuck, you know, if my family is disappointed in me, my friends are upset with me, obviously. But if some random schmo on the side of the street is to be talking shit, like, bro, you're on the side of the street. Like, I don't care what you're saying. I don't care what you're thinking. Yeah, case in point. Thank you. Did social media change who I am or reveal who I already was? I think definitely reveal who I already was. I mean, it's weird because I am obviously every day I grow, like like a little sprout. I grow. But no, seriously, like there's some things I look back on and I'm like, wait, why would you ever put that online? Or things I look back on and I'm like, wait, I do not agree with that, you know? So I think it's the craziest thing that like I, especially with my niche or like my personal brand, is to just like say things how it is. And when a moment is so fresh and I'm upset about something, like honestly, my first instinct is to like post it online. And I love that. I honestly really do, because it's like people go through stages of grief, you know, happiness, sadness. And I feel like it's important to show that. Like, it's not always all positive. It's not always all negative. And as you grow up, your opinions change, you learn things. And sadly and happily, I've posted it every step along the way online for people to see. So yeah. Okay, are haters just jealous? Yeah, I think they are. It's so funny too, like there's so many times online where I've seen like people from my past like coming in to make social media and like doing it, and I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say I laugh at them or anything. I would just kind of be like, okay, like let's see where this goes. Like I wonder how you're going to define yourself and make yourself different. Because obviously there's so many people doing social media, just like there's so many DJs. And it's like, you have to have your sound be different. Same way when you're an influencer, you have to make your niche like in some way be a little different. And as I've seen other people build their own personal brands, it has made me like a fan of them. It's made me respect them. It's made me like completely change my perspective, because when someone's building something and is like not only proud of it, but doing it well, it really makes you want to follow along for the ride. So I think 9 out of 10 times, like haters really are just jealous. And the second that you see someone like actually doing something and pursuing something, it's really hard to hate on them, you know, especially when someone's like making a living out of it and making money. It's like, really, what are you going to say about that? There's not much you can. So along with my brand, obviously comes with a lot of assumptions, which is something I don't really know how I feel about, because it's like, I honestly go back and forth. It's like my guy friends all the time. I mean, I hate to bring a man into this, but they're the ones who really just, I guess I would say it how it is, but are just the ones who kind of pick me apart and like give me a bunch of shit. And it's like, I pride myself in like having fun and going out and not giving a shit and like doing what I want. But I also pride myself in weird ways of being like, your pussy's a prize. All men fucking suck. Like, woman is the superior gender. Like, you know, honestly, it goes 50-50. I'm like, men should be doing all the work, but then I'm like, fuck men, you know? So it's a little confusing and it's a little bipolar. But with what I post and what I say, like, I was trying to literally explain this to one of my guy friends the other day, because they were like, you cannot look at me and tell me you don't like sleep around with all these people. You don't do all of these things. And it's like, as much as I want to sit there and be like, how dare you think that? It's like, I feel like some of my brand is kind of that. So it makes it hard for me to sit there and be like, oh, no, that's not how it is. Because I say that. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Like, I don't sleep with anyone. Like, I am Virgin Mary herself. What are you talking about? And they're like, refer to a comment they saw last week. This is like a live conversation that actually happened. And my guy friend was like, you responded to a comment on your TikTok like a week ago. First of all, why are you in my comments, you freak? But whatever. You responded to a comment that asked like, oh, how are you feeling? And I responded and I was like, great, I got fire dick last night. And I can see how that might come across as like, wow, you sleep around. But it's like, that's just one comment in the grand scheme of things. And I feel like I speak my mind, I talk about me partying, and somehow that always correlates back to like, I'm a slut, I sleep around. And it's like, two things can be true at once. I feel like when I'm building my personal brand of being crazy and doing what I want, in no way does that mean like I let anyone do what they want to me, or I just like go with the flow in terms of letting men be the way men are. And it honestly confuses me because I think, as I said, like two things really can be true at once. And I don't think because I post online and I speak my mind and I once in a blue moon go home with a man, that means everything else is true, you know? I also rarely, like, I'll bring a man home a few times for sure, but then I just like torment them. It's like, you know how like in the movies when the little kids, they have like a babysitter and they just like make her play dress up and like make her like cook for them. Like that's what I do. Like I will bring home a man from the club and give him like a 15-minute try on haul and make him like rate the outfits 1 through 10. I'll be like, oh, are you good at folding? Like my laundry just got done. So just because you bring a man home doesn't mean you're like, you know, trying every position in the freak horny book. It just, you know, sometimes means you might just want to have a sleepover. The first thing I have written on my page is people keep calling me a slut. Maybe I'll be one. Shit. Honestly, bars. But I think what it is men cannot fathom the fact that people would want, like I do, okay? I have men in my DMs, right? I could be anyone has men in their DMs. Like men are everywhere. They're creatures. They want whatever they can get, which is the point I'm trying to make here. And there are so many people in my life or who aren't in my life, who don't even know me outside perspective, who cannot fathom the fact that because people want to do things with me and because people want to sleep with me, I wouldn't sleep with them. Because think about it. Most men, if they had any girl ever in the history of existence wanting to sleep with them, they would sleep with them. So it's like, I think when I'm getting slut shamed or you maybe are getting slut shamed by a man and they're saying, oh, well, she sleeps with whatever and she does this, like whatever, it's because they cannot fathom the fact that you have someone wanting to sleep with you and you're not sleeping with them. It's like if I don't know, I see it happen in live action all the time. It's like just because there are boys talking to me at a bar doesn't mean I'm going to go home with them. But in a man's eyes, if you are talking to them at a bar, like you're going home with them. Like they're getting lucky tonight. And it's just, I don't think men can fathom the fact that like if there's food in front of you, you're not going to eat it. And it's like, baby, sometimes I'm not hungry, you know? They just can't fathom that. And that's something I've learned the hard way. But seriously, I literally said to my guy friends, I'm like, which just maybe wasn't the most mature thing to say, but did I ever claim to be mature? No. I was like, you guys want to see a slut? Like, I'll show you a slut. Like, I will literally fuck 5 men in one night. Like, I will. Like, I will. Because I could. But I don't. Okay, we're just getting personal beef on the mic. So now, I want to read some assumptions you guys have about me. Let's see what they are. Because I'm sure I'm giving myself time because I know there'll be some stories in here that I want to tell. First assumption, you are obsessed with your friend Maddie. From my friend Maddie. Yes, Maddie, I'm obsessed with you. Love you, girl. Come off as ditzy, but you are really intelligent, actually. That doesn't seem like an assumption. That seems like a statement you're making. I feel like I don't come off as ditzy. I feel like ditzy is like confused, not knowing what you want. I feel like I'm a fucking like hard ass. Like I know what I want and I go after it. I don't really know what the definition of ditzy is, but I feel like it's not Davis Rowe. I would have thought you had daddy issues. See, that's another common assumption. It's like when building my personal brand, I really feel like I wanted to give, I don't even know. It's honestly a good question because I feel like my brand does give I have daddy issues, but also at the same time, my brand gives like the opposite of that. Does it? Like, I don't know. I feel like we're doing a lot of self-reflection in this episode. No, my dad is like my best friend. I feel like watching my parents be so madly in love and the way they treat each other is a reason why it's like a man when I'm drunk buying me like 3 vodka Red Bulls like isn't going to impress me, you know? Like some man the other day, we were at a restaurant and this man sent us tequila shots to our table. Most people would be impressed. Me, I wasn't. Why? Because it was house tequila. Are you kidding me? If you send me a shot, make it something a little stronger, like Don Julio 1942, house. Really? No. But yeah, no, I don't have daddy issues. But I honestly, like, I hate to say why I see you could think that, but it's just a lot of it is humor. Like, I've always thought like sexual jokes were super funny. I mean, maybe it's because at Thanksgiving with like my grandparents are like every Thanksgiving, Christmas, she always would host it at her house in Philly. That's where I go still every Thanksgiving. And it's sadly, it's gotten smaller because families have gotten bigger and then start doing their own things. But when we were younger, it was always like a huge Thanksgiving thing. And what our game would be was Cards Against Humanities. Because Apples to Apples is so fucking plain Jane and boring. So it's like my grandparents and it's like, oh my God, give this card to the person who's like got it in the butt the most this week. And it's like, whoa, hey granny, you know, but that's my family. So I've always just kind of thought that humor was funny. And people online are so fucking dense and sometimes can't understand the difference between reality and perception or humor. I don't know, whatever you'd want to call it. But it's like, there is a difference. And I feel like at the same time, though, I've used that to my advantage and have kind of made my brand the difference of both, like not knowing the difference, you know, like two things can be true at once, as I keep saying this whole episode. And I feel like that is what I've made my brand, is literally making this humor, making these jokes, but it's humor, it's jokes. Like it really isn't that serious, you know? I thought you were a Republican for a while. Honestly, this is something I'm not afraid to admit. Wait, that sounds bad. Just stay with me really quick. Something I'm not afraid to admit is I used to just not really be super, and when I say not really, I mean like what, eight years ago, like a while ago, 5 years ago, I don't know. Not really. I wouldn't say care too much about politics, but I would just say no a lot. I mean, I personally always was just like anything to come with politics was always just so negative for me. Like growing up, my parents have always been. See, I don't even know like the terminologies of all the political shit. But my parents always like were, I mean, I had a gay sister, I have gay cousins, not that that really has to do with anything, but I guess it kind of did. I'm trying to say the wing, left wing, right wing. Republican is which wing? Yeah, so, and Republican is like Donald Trump, right? Okay, there we go. My family has always been very left wing, you know, like loved the gays, loved all this stuff. But my extended family has had a lot of right-wing people, a lot of it. So it's always like holidays, we're always just like, let's not talk about it. So I kind of just would stay out of it because it was like such like a sensitive topic. But then it's like, once I became, 20 years old and 21 years old, like I'm not a kid anymore. Like it's not so sensitive to me. I can have my own opinions, which is something else that's been so weird about growing up, is learning like, wait, I do not have to agree with anyone in my family at all. And so it was just something I kind of stayed away from. But I always in high school and like middle school too, I feel like I grew up in Philadelphia, the main line of Philadelphia. Like every single person was Republican. And so I would date boys who were Republican and I didn't really care. And I don't know. I definitely now would say I care a lot and I like to like speak about it too. But back then I almost, I hate to say it, I just didn't really care. I wanted nothing to do with it. And now I've realized, like, especially since I have a platform, like I kind of have to care, and not even have to, I want to. Like it's something that is now important to me, especially because I feel like my frontal lobe is developed and whatever. But no, my whole family is very democratic. That's what I'd say. That's the term. Yeah, my whole family is very democratic, especially my brother. He's always been like super involved in politics, and like my brother's so smart. Both my siblings are so smart. But my brother has always like really been that way. Bring back Obama. That's all I'm gonna say. Bring back Obama, for the love of God. Yeah, a lot of assumptions here are just that I'm like MAGA, which is like annoying. Like I feel like you see like a blonde hot bitch and you just think MAGA. You're profiling. Hi, you're profiling. My family could not be like my close knit family. The 5 of us could not be more like democratic. Like really, really don't like that stuff. But I don't know. I can't sit here and say I'm like the most political person ever because there's just so much negativity with it. It's just like I honestly try to stay out of it. But obviously, at a certain point, it's become so apparent in this world. It's like you can't stay out of it. You have to say something and you have to think a certain thing. And definitely fuck Trump is what I'm with. Another assumption, you have 20 plus bodies. No, I don't. My body count is like 8. Yeah, I feel like that's the whole point of what I've been talking about is just people are going to think what you want. People are going to say things and I don't know why. Like I really don't. What does give so badly that I like have all these bodies? Like I honestly wonder. Comment down below. Thanks guys on my YouTube. You've had a threesome. Well, one time I like was hooking up with this kid and then my friend was in the bed hooking up with another kid. And then of course, seasoning to my food, I went online. It was like, I had a foursome. And then it's like, wait, what? And then it's like, okay, it was not like, yeah, how does a foursome go? Like, I guess just boom, boom, boom. No, there was none of that. But would I be opposed to a threesome? Absolutely not. I would love to have a threesome before I die. 100%. Would love to. 2 girls, 1 boy, for sure. This guy's 2 boys. 2 boys, 2 boys, 1 girl. Another assumption, I give mean girl. No, I think I just don't take shit from people. I really don't. Also, I am very nice to everyone and less provoked, but also like everyone has a bad fucking day. My friend Maddie was telling me this, and this is like I think you know what, like ask your friends, ask around. Obviously like word always gets back to people, and I have heard, not to like stroke my own cock, but I have heard like a lot of people haven't had a bad interaction with me. Like I have never heard something get back to me of someone being like, oh my God, you were such a bitch. I've honestly always ever heard online of people being like, oh my God, I met her. She was so nice. So thanks. But no, I really could definitely confidently say I am super nice and less provoked. But my friend, my friend Maddie, who you all know, was telling me this story of like freshman year, some girl came up to me at a party. Like, this is this girl's story. And you know what? Like everyone has their story. I'm not gonna dim her light. Like I'm gonna let you tell your story, girl. Like pop off. And apparently this girl came up to me and she was like, oh my God, Davis, like I really love you. And I looked at her and I was like, get the fuck away from me. So you know what? Shit, maybe I do give mean girls sometimes. But everyone has a bad day. Everyone can do things they're not proud of. Am I mean? No. And if I am being mean, like I'm just being a bitch. And I will sit there and like one thing I will do is like clock myself. Like one thing I will do is like hold myself accountable. Like am I the nicest person ever? Probably not. But am I a bitch? No. Unless provoked. You know? If I didn't know you, I would assume you're a crackhead. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. People always like, even like my close guy friends. I'm talking about like my Florida guy friends. I just have so many guy friends. But no, I've like moved around a lot. So I have like my Philly guy friends, then I have my school guy friends, and then I have my guy friends from Florida, right? And they still to this day will come up to me and be like, yo, like let me get the bag. And I'm like, what? Like my cute little IMGA purse? Like my new Fendi bag? Like what bag? They're like, no, the bag. Bro, you can still have fun and be bouncing off the walls and not need cocaine. Like I don't get it. And I'm not saying like, listen, like have I dipped my toe in the water? I'm not going to say I've never went swimming before. Okay. But I can confidently say I don't do it. I don't like it and I don't fucking need it. I also just think like the coolest, hottest thing someone can do is like not do that stuff. I think I've never been someone to think drugs are cool, like ever. I just haven't. I think it's like, and I'm not just saying this to like fish for compliments. I actually think it's the coolest thing if you can say like, you've never done that or partaken in it. My dad has never even smoked weed. He's never done a drug in his life. He's only had alcohol. And I think that's like so sick. And my type in men, if you're a man watching this, I also want to one time do like an episode for the men and give you all the tips to women. But I'm like, also my brand is like fucking hating men. So why would I give you guys all the tips and tricks? But some of you aren't so bad. I can admit that, you're not all the devil. On that same note, my type, if you're a boy watching this, is a man who just like loves to party, can stay out all night, but like doesn't need that. Like I just think it's so cool. It's like you have these superpowers, like being able to stay up all night without like the sword. I don't know. It's like Captain America without his shield. No, maybe I don't know, but yeah, drugs aren't cool. So I don't need that. But people always think that, and people are gonna think what they want. And I honestly take it as a compliment because it's like, what are the like effects of cocaine? Like in the movies, I don't know the actual effects, low-key. I feel like you're just like stupid and brain dead. But I feel like in the movies, the effects are like, you're crazy, you're lit, like you're so fun, you're the life of the party. And again, to someone watching this who's like younger, I'm not saying those things are true. It's not. It's like gross and druggy and not the vibe. But in like how people hype it up to be and like in the movies or whatever is fun, lit, this, that. So when people assume that about me, honestly, I'll take it as a compliment in a way. I'm like, okay, you just think I'm lit. But my face is way too pretty to be snorting anything. Like I'm sorry. I'm snatched, my septum is not deviated, and I don't need to be doing things that are gonna like possibly make me croak up and die. I just have way too much to live for. And you do too. So put the bag down, baby, and pick up a Fendi. Like we're over it. Um if I ever knew if I ever knew who you were, I would probably be scared shitless if you walked past me. It's so funny because I've had the like I've had friends, like I would say random people, but random people don't matter because random people are always gonna say random shit. But I've had like close friends to me either tell me like, oh, you're intimidating, or like you are so not fucking intimidating. And I feel like where the line is when it's like my really close friends, they're the ones who are like, bro, like what the fuck? Like Laura, okay? Laura has been my best friend since fourth grade, okay? So she knows me in and out. And so when I'm like trying to be this like boss up big bitch, she just like laughs in my face. And it's not that I can't be intimidating. It's just that if you really do get to know me, like, bro, it's my first time living. Like, I really don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, I know who I am. I know what I want out of life. But at the end of the day, like, I'm just a girl, Like, one wrong mean comment to me, and like, I might be like, psh, I don't give a fuck. But at the end of the day, like, when I'm in my shower, like, sitting there listening to fucking Lana Del Rey, like, I shed a tear over it. I'm only human. So would I say I'm intimidating? I would say on the surface, but deep down, like I feel like I'm one of the most like least intimidating people ever because I feel like what makes someone intimidating is almost judgment in a way. Like I feel like what makes me intimidated by someone is when I think they're gonna like judge me or I think they think they're better than me. Never will I think I'm better than another human. Never will I think my life is more important. And never will I like judge someone else. That's like my biggest thing in life. Like, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you say. Just don't fucking judge me. Like, if you have a problem, like, come to me and talk about it, like, with your guard down. Like, don't come and like big dick me. Cause it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? But no, I think at the end of the day, like, I'm just a girl. Like, why would you be intimidated by me? Like, I just want to be your friend. Like, seriously, like, when girls come up to me, like the other day I was like at a coffee shop and like a girl came up to me and was like, oh my God, I love you. And like, I wanted to ask her to sit down and be like, can we hang out? Like all of my friends are in class. Like I would love to just kiki with you, have a cocktail. Like, let's run it. Something I've learned, I think I've talked about this before, when I moved to so many different schools is like, you really can get along with pretty much anyone and have a great conversation. It's like, when you're at a grocery store and some like 40-year-old man starts talking to you about like, I don't know, my daughter likes this cereal too. Like, I honestly kind of have a fascinating conversation with them about it. And maybe that's just the person I am. Like, I know me and Maddie can like beat the horse until it is like actually on Ozempic, like flatten that shit like a chicken cutlet. But that just threw me off. Like sometimes I say analogies and I'm like, wait, I can't even continue after that. Like flatten that bitch like a chicken cutlet. Like actually what? Something I learned going to so many different schools and like being immersed honestly into so many different cultures just like randomly sprung on me, like living in a new state, a new area, like everything's different, everyone is different, like the ways, whatever, the people, I don't know, is like I can pretty much get along with anyone. And if you're like sitting there and the conversation is like so awful and I can't even get a word out, like you must be the problem because I could actually talk to a brick wall. Someone said, Davis, there's no assumptions to be made about you. You share every little fucking detail. Yeah. You judge me. No, I honestly wouldn't. Like, I really just like don't give enough of a fuck to do that. And it's also like, if I'm going to be judging someone, like, it's honestly probably myself. So, like, I just, people are always so focused. Like, you always think, oh my God, what's this person thinking of me? Like, they're honestly probably sitting there just like hyper analyzing themselves. So, never that personal. But wait, I don't have an assumption, but I met you abroad in Switzerland last year on the train and you were sloshed and you were awesome. See? There we go. So I obviously said, I was like, with these questions, like, please violate me. And this girl goes, you only wear slicks back. Like, this isn't, I meant violate me in a way, like, assume that, like, maybe I just need to read the thing. She said, you only wear slicks backs because your hair is fried off and you damaged it. You said to violate you. I love you. Well, that's not really a violation. That's like a true fact that you can see right on the surface. Violations are supposed to be more of assumptions. Hence the make an assumption about me. That's just a fact about me. Yes, my hair is fried off, and it's really short, and I do slick backs because the wind blows and I lose half my head of hair. So, my parents hate me. No, they don't. But I definitely am the hardest kid ever. Like, bruh, I have my sister who just like literally on her dream Friday night was to like sit in bed and read all 3 series books of the Hunger Games, you know? Read Lord of the Rings, you know? So my sister was a very easy kid, didn't go out like to stay in. And then my brother's like my mom's perfect little child. So I wouldn't say my parents hate me, but I definitely made their hair turn gray way fucking faster. And to be clear, because my mom will actually punch me in the face if I don't follow up with this. To be clear, my mom does not have any gray hair, but if she did, I'd probably be the root cause of it, okay? I've always been a difficult kid. Something about me is like when I was little and my parents would be like, if you do this, you're going to get in trouble. Well, I would ask what the punishment would be. I'd be like, okay, but I get in trouble, like how in trouble? Are we talking like no dessert for 2 nights? Are we talking like in my room for a week? Are we talking no sleepovers? I had to weigh my options. So I was definitely the exact same I am now as a young child, which can obviously be very frustrating and very difficult and complicated. So my parents definitely don't hate me, but I definitely am not only the most annoying kid, but the most expensive. And then my dad is like, you are so expensive. Like you will take my credit card and go and buy things. And I'm like, hey, Jordan's expensive too. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you had to pay for her Accutane and her antidepressants. My parents were like, you fucking bitch. Like, what the fuck? Are you seriously going to compare the two? Yes, you have your needs. I have mine. So my parents don't hate me, but was I an easy kid and they would do it all over again? Absolutely the fuck not. My parents are counting down the days until I'm like officially off the payroll, which is in like 2 months. The day I graduate, I'm done. So, yeah. This is another one. Your friends, boyfriend, and peers and parents hate you. Not that I know of, but at times, probably yes. A lot of people asked about school. It's not an assumption, but I want to know how you do in school. I have said this so many times, like when I get my diploma and like, I don't know how long after a diploma is like locked in, like they can't take it away. But once I get to that point where it's like, the contract has been fucking signed, the NDA has been sent off. Like, I have so many stories for you about shit I've fucking done, but not personally, legally, physically, mentally, like cannot bring it up until that diploma is locked and fucking loaded. But how do I do in school? I thought I was doing better than I am. I just got an email from my school actually saying my GPA is too low to graduate, so I need to raise it. I thought I had a really good GPA. Apparently I don't. I do fine in school. I mean, I'm a business major, which I know to some people sounds like the easiest major ever, but to me, it's like math and numbers, which is just not something I'm good at. Like I can sit there and memorize terms, anyone can, and I will do well in that. But when it comes to like math and remembering equations, like absolutely the fuck not. All of my friends say like you always find a way, like everything always works out for you, which I think everyone should manifest for themselves. But I definitely struggle in school, but at the end of the day, like it always works out. Like I always find a way to pass the class. I always find a way to do well on the test. And I study. I'll do what I can, but it's also like important for me to be doing my extracurriculars, which are like having fun and going out. You know, you got to do it. Body count high as fuck. No, it isn't, but I wouldn't be opposed to raising it. Like honestly, like, there's just no one who really tickled my fancy, you know? Like all these men at the bars, they all look like it's like those the bottom feeders, you know, with like their at the bar, and it's like scary. Like I run the other direction. Like I actually used to think like in like freshman year when all of my friends were like getting with these boys, oh my god, like I made out with him, oh my god, we hooked up. Back when like hooking up was literally just like making out with a boy, I used to actually sit there and be like, am I asexual? Because I have no interest in like going home with this musty man and like making out with him. Like I actually didn't understand the enjoyment. I think the enjoyment in hooking up with someone is liking them, like connecting with someone, like the energy of you and them, like collabing. Because at that point, if you just want to like make out with someone, like go home and like make out with your stuffed animal. Like, what's if you don't actually like the person you are like in the bedroom with? Like, I'm just confused how it could be enjoyable. But and when you do like the person, I completely understand how it's enjoyable. But until then, no. You're dyslexic. Yes, very dyslexic. It is really bad. And it is only getting worse. Like, it is only getting worse. It's really bad. Like, no, it's really bad. And I saw this thing saying like how social media and if you stare at your phone all the time can like start to cause early signs of dementia. And not to self-diagnose myself, but I think the dementia is creeping up because I actually forget things immediately. My spelling is getting incredibly bad. Like, I've always been dyslexic and I've always not been able to spell, but it's getting to the point where like it is really bad. Like, it's just really bad. So yeah. You've never worked a full-time job in your life. Social media doesn't count. Hi, I've worked many jobs. Let's talk about it. I answered the phone at a pizza place. I was a hostess at a restaurant. I worked at the snack bar at my dad's work. I've done a lot of jobs. My parents have always been like, you have to at least be doing something, whether that's like a sport or work or both. I also am someone who likes to be making money. I like to work. I think that's like one of my favorite things about this whole social media thing is, of course, the clout, but also just like making money for myself and then being able to spend it how I want. Like, do I like to spend money? Yes. But if you told me like you can choose to spend your dad's money or your own money, I'd say my own, which is a shocking thing. I know most people are like, there's always the people online who their parents pay for their whole life. And you see in the comments of people being like, if your parents would pay for it too, you'd want it. Like, honestly, no. Like, I've seen how hard my father works for his money. And in a perfect world, like he would just spend it on him and my mom. But it's like, I am your child. You chose to have me and you have to fund me. But no, like if it was like when I'm moving to New York, it's going to be like, hi, you're living in a shack because that's like what I'm going to be able to afford, But I way rather, I was about to say I way rather live in a shack and pay for it than live in like a penthouse and have my parents pay for it. But I don't know if I can stand by that. So maybe we'll come back to that later. You've never finished reading a book in your life. I think I have like once or twice, but I've recently been trying to get back into like I was ever there. I've been recently trying to get into reading. And then I realized I'd rather be doom scrolling, which is so sad. Like I can't, like I hear the notification go off and I check it, or like my phone's on do not disturb and I somehow hear notifications. It's like the weirdest thing. It's a glitch in my brain. It really is. Please tell me you work a job because like how do you have money to just casually be doing expensive shit? I mean, I think it's funny because I think that goes hand in hand with like building my personal brand is a lot of like faking it till you make it. I think it's like if I'm filming a fit check, right? And I'm like in like I'm in some like crummy like hotel room that I'm staying in because me and my friend are in Ibiza, right? And you obviously like I can only afford like the like some fuck ass hotel because Ibiza is expensive as shit. It's like, am I going to do the fit check in this crummy hotel room? No, I'm going to go outside and do it in front of like a palm tree on the water. It's all about perception. If you can control perception, you can control reality. And I think that's something I've learned when building my personal brand is like, it's not that I want to be fake and like come off as like, oh my God, I'm so rich and I'm so that, but like do what works. Like I've noticed that that's what people want to see from me. And if people want to see it, like I'll give them what they want to see. So it's like a lot of the times when I'm doing stuff or posting stuff, I kind of, make it aesthetic or make it look a certain way because I know that will perform better. I know that will do better. And it's like, it'll be true at one point. Like I'm not sitting here saying I'm like, rubbing pennies together, but I definitely know the vibe people look for, and so I give them that. So I can see why you'd assume that, but like not really. Snobby, and my family is rich. That's so funny because like I could not come from a more humble family, and I know saying you come from a humble family makes it seem like you don't come from a humble family, but like half of the shit that comes out of my mouth, my father's like, actually, what the fuck? Who fucking raised you? Like my parents are so beyond humble, like. They think it is so gross to talk anything about money, to talk about like anything about cars. Like for the longest time, like my dad would refuse to get like any like name brand cars. Like we always had like I think like a Buick, like that's what we drove for the longest time, a Buick, or my mom had like a Volvo or something. And not saying those aren't fucking amazing, nice cars, but I remember like when we did get my BMW, I remember my dad just being like, this is so out of character of me. Like, I hate feeling flashy. I hate feeling like rubbing money in people's faces. But it's like, again, business is business. And when and these are my words, not his, but it's like when he's showing up to these super important business meetings, you low key want to like show up and look like you're balling, you know? If you're asking someone, hey, I want you to work for me, you want to show up and show them like, oh, this is what your future could look like in a way. I guess that's just kind of how I run it. But my parents say like all the time, like being humble is one of the most attractive things you can do. So what the fuck happened to me? I don't really know, but it's also like a joke to me. I think it always was like laughable in my family to like say all these things and act a certain way because, I mean, my dad, look at his family, like his aunt is Grace Kelly. So it's like he got a lot of that growing up. He went to an all boys private school and got a lot of that and has been around boys his whole life who like their whole personality is having money. But it's like that only gets you so far. It really does. So on the topic of I have a lot of money, no, my parents have money, not me. That has nothing to do with me. Also, my parents do not. My dad has never talked about his financial situation with me at all. My parents used to like convince me that like we actually like when I would spend too much, my parents would be like, oh my God, no, like we're gonna lose the house. Like that's kind of fucked up. I don't know. They would like low-key convince me that. And I was like young and I would believe it. And then my siblings would be like, bruh, we're fine. So if I ever come across snobby, it's just low-key a bit. Like I swear I'm actually not. Okay. Take it with it. Assumed you were a whore, in all caps, may I mention, and I've been following you for a bit and can tell you're apparently not. Aw, that's so nice. See, I feel like a lot of the times I give that, it's just like a humor, it's for the bit, it's for the brand. But at the end of the day, if you really do like surface level brand is like, do it, fuck them, like have fun. But like, I feel like once you really start watching my content, I was again saying this to my guy friends the other day. I'm like, I see how you could think that from my TikTok, but if you actually like sit and watch my podcast and listen to the stuff I say, like I live my life like I'm a prize, you know, as I think everyone should. Like I actually was like, I think I've said this quote to you guys before. I was like 9 years old and my mom was like, your pussy's a prize. Like never go down on a man until he goes down on you first. I'm like, what does that mean, Mom? You know, like I've been raised that way, that it's just like, you are the prize, you know? You don't shower daily. No, I don't. I really don't. Do you guys shower every single day? I feel like I shower most days, okay? But I definitely don't wash my hair every day. I hate washing my hair because it's just like, it immediately gets greasy again. So it's just like, what's the point, you know? I feel like I either take a bath every day though. I like to like sit in water. Like that's just like my one time like I'm not on my phone is either when I'm driving or in the shower. So it's honestly a pretty peaceful place for me. I honestly just sit there and like decompress. So maybe I don't like scrub myself down every day, but I definitely am in some type of body of water. You don't have a single non-white friend. I don't know why. What would draw you to make that assumption about me? I mean, that's not true, but what a crazy assumption. Your parents never told you no. Oh fuck yeah, they did. Oh my God. My parents told me no so many times growing up. Yeah, no, my parents do not take my shit. It's so funny because it's like I know me and my mom are twins and we really are, but it's like I really wish you could see the stuff like our family dynamic. Like the amount of times like I say stuff and over the years my mom has definitely gotten like worse at this. I feel like she used to be a lot more, I don't know, humble than she is now. Like, I don't even know what the word would be. But my siblings and my father could like not be more different than me in that aspect. Like, they are like, no, my God. They tell me no all the time. My siblings are like the most humble, like great people ever. Like so kind, so humble. Like how I think it's so funny to like talk about money. I'm like what's a money joke I make a lot? Like, I don't know. But I think they like don't even find it funny. Like I was at the bar the other day too. I don't really find it funny either unless it's like me. Like I was at the bar the other day and this boy bought me a drink and I was like, oh my God, thanks. And he's like, nah, chill, it's on my dad's Amex. And I was like, oh my God, that's such an ick. Like, okay. You act really confident, but low-key have a lot of insecurities you never talk about. Yeah, I feel like that's everyone. I mean, one, as I always say, fake it till you make it. But two, like, where would it get me? Well, no, I guess it would get me in terms of like being relatable and to let people know they're not alone. But I feel like that goes without saying. Like, no shit, I have fucking insecurities. Like, when I say oh my God, I'm the best person in the world. I'm so fucking hot. I'm the luckiest girl in the world. Do I actually think that? Loki, yeah. No, I'm kidding. But it's like, fake it till you make it. I mean, what are you going to do? Like, it wouldn't get me anywhere in life just coming online and like crying about my problems. Like, of course, everyone has insecurities, but I think also it's something that is so like wishy-washy and something that is just so like happens one day and doesn't. Like, there's some days I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, everyone hates me. I hate me. And then there's days I wake up where I'm like, oh my God, I'm the most popular person in the world. So I think it's just like, you're going to have insecurities, but you can't let them take over because that's really not going to do you any good. And I think what will do you good is being confident as shit and faking it until you goddamn make it. My catchphrase. That would have been a good like podcast title, Fake It Till You Make It. Season 2, there we go. This one's fucking awesome. I'm going to put this in my bio actually, so thank you. You fuck dudes. Dudes don't fuck you. Honestly, T. Honestly, yeah, honestly, T. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you which friend it is, but she honestly wouldn't care. But I was at the, you know, when things happen, when it's like you hear so many different stories, and then someone is to come to you, and like you find out like all the stories like are correlated. Like you heard this about this, you heard this about this, and it was all about the same person. And you're like, no way, that story and that story were like all about the same person. So that happened to me the other day because my friend had been telling me all these stories about this guy. So the first story was, she was like, this guy lived down the street from me. This is my friend telling me this. This guy lived down the street from me and he had a girlfriend. And the girlfriend would always say to him, like, about me and my friend, oh my God, these girls are insane. Like, they do just so much cocaine and like post online and they're fucking batshit crazy. So then of course the boyfriend like looks us up and it's like, wait, I think they're fucking hot and lit. Obviously they ended up breaking up. Maybe not because of that. Maybe it helped. Who fucking knows? Okay. Then fast forward, here's another story. She is screaming at him outside the bar and is like in a fist fight with him and he's insane. Okay. Fast to the third story, the most exciting one. She is hooking up with this man. She's really drunk, right? But they've been hooking up a few times, so it's nothing like weird. Like, they went home together, whatever. They had sex. And she wakes up in the morning and she's like, did we have sex last night? Like, what happened? And not in a weird way, just in a way like they were drunk, they went home together. They've been like kind of hooking up for a while. So it's whatever. It's fine. She was fine with it. And she's like, did we have sex, by the way? Like, I kind of remember what happened. And he's like, did we have sex? Like, I forget if I've told you guys this before or if she's told you this. Did we have sex? Like, you were in doggy and I had a belt around your neck and I was choking you and you were super into it. And then all of a sudden, like, you just lay flat. And I'm like, hey, I'm poking you. And you're just like laying there for 2 minutes, like fully went unconscious because the belt was too tight around your neck and I was fucking you in doggy way too hard. Okay. Crazy story, right? She clearly stopped. Oh, and then in the morning, she's like, really? He's like, what do you mean, really? Look to your left. To her left is the belt sitting on the counter. Okay. So yeah, it did happen. And then, okay, fast forward, this weekend? Yeah. On Tuesday. It was on Tuesday because the market is on Tuesday. That was like 4 days ago. Okay. It's Friday right now. I'm at the market and some man comes up to me and he asked me for a photo. And I'm like, yeah, of course. And he's like, tell your friend I say hi. And keep saying, tell your friend I say hi. So finally, I'm like, wait, do you know my friend personally? Or do you just know her through like my social media? Because he was asking me for a photo. And he's like, no. Like, I know her personally. Like, we used to fuck. And I'm like, oh, what's your name? And he tells me his name. And like, I wasn't even trying to be rude. And luckily he laughed. But like, this is just something like I would casually say, like not thinking anything of it. And then like I leave the conversation. I'm like, oh shit, that was low key like a bitchy statement of me. But I ask him his name and like nonchalantly, I'm like, oh, I've never heard of you. Like, it couldn't have been that good. And it's kind of like, whoa, what'd you just say? So I take a photo with this man. I go home. And then like 2 days later, I'm telling my friend about this interaction. And she's like, Davis, that was the man who fully choked me with a belt. Like, you took a fucking selfie, a full photo, peace sign and everything with the man who choked me out with a belt. Same man who like found us because his ex said that like we were crazy and would like do a bunch of cocaine. And I'm like, that was all the same person? And she's like, yes. And I was like, wow, what a full circle moment. Someone said, you were in an accident. Happy accident though. I actually was an accident. My parents did not mean to have me, which just like sucks. Imagine not meaning to have a kid and then you have me. I'm like 7 kids in one. Like, my parents always said, like, not even kidding, like if you were a twin, like we would have sent one of you like home. Like, we would have given one of you up, like, and it probably would have been me. So Nepo, but I'm jealous. People always, but like, these are the accusations. Like, I don't want to decline. Like, I want to accept them. Nepo, yeah. Shit, you call me, I'm a Nepo. Yeah, the whole Grace Kelly thing and being related to her. Yeah. Yeah. But also at the same time, it's like, do you guys think I get a check in the mail every month because I'm related to her? Like, absolutely not. Like, that's just like not how those things work. You're only liberal because it's trendy and you don't actually know what you're talking about. Honestly, that's a valid question. That's a good point. And I think we see a lot of that online. But I think if you know anything about me, if I disagreed with what was happening, I honestly probably one would say something or two would just like not say anything. I would never come online and sit there and preach something if I actually didn't think it. I would maybe just stay quiet. But I mean, I think that's kind of like a a crazy comment because it just like honestly it's like unfathomable to me with everything going on in the world that you can still sit there and like support someone like that. So I don't think you need many brain cells. I think you maybe need half of one to like understand what's going on in the world and not take a liking to it. I think there is so much hate and so much negativity in the world right now. And I think that there's definitely someone who is controlling all of that and letting it happen. I mean, do I think being liberal is a trend right now? Sure, but I'm also like not liberal. I would just say I am democratic, but I definitely wouldn't say I'm a liberal. I don't know. I honestly, as I said before, kind of try to stay out of politics, but obviously with everything happening, it makes it pretty hard to stay out of it because it's just so like, what the fuck is happening that you kind of have to say something. But just know I would never come online and preach something I didn't believe in. I would probably just like shut the fuck up and steer clear. So you have my word that I really don't like Donald Trump, and that's kind of how I feel. I always thought you were an anal pro queen. What does that mean? Hi, what does that mean? Anal pro. No, honestly, like I am anal pro. Like I really am. But like I just personally have the really Yes, yes, it does. But I personally like, can I say online I have a small butthole? Like, is that appropriate? Like I do. Like I just don't understand how you would get Sorry, I have the like most Ozempic, cutest little butthole ever. Actually, my ex did tell me I have a really cute butthole. So hi. Hi. No, I'm so pro anal. Also, I'm just pro sex. Like I am pro just like you do it, girl. Like I am pro like get kinky, get all the toys in the bedroom, like do what you want. Like I feel like being in the bedroom, especially with someone you trust, is such a form of self-expression and it's such a time to get out anger, get out everything. So it's like if you like it, girl, you fucking do it. And especially it's like I feel like that's the one place in the world where it's like there is no judgment, especially if you're with a partner who like you love and care about. So I'm pro whatever the fuck you want to do in the bedroom as long as it's like legal and not fucking fetishly weird. But no, you do whatever. Coke whore. No, I'm not. Maybe whore, but not coke. You look in the mirror and you say, hell yeah, I'm that bitch. They call me crazy, but I'm that bitch. Yeah, honestly, I do that. I used to make my ex-boyfriend like look in the mirror and say 3 things he loves about themselves. I learned that from Emily Kaiser because she is a creator I love online, and she would always have Trig look in the mirror and say like he's so handsome and cute. And I thought that was like the most wholesome thing. And she gave that boy like the best life ever and loved him so much. And I think that is like such an important thing to do, especially for like loved ones. It's like not only you tell them these great things, but make them say it to themselves constantly. So yes, I absolutely look in the mirror every morning and tell myself I'm the baddest bitch to walk the earth. And I think you should too. Add it to your daily routine along with your supplements. So with my personal brand, what is next and what do I see coming in the future? I definitely want to do something that's never been done before and do something different. But I also just want to be I don't know, like when I say different, I mean just like not only something you haven't seen before and different for myself, but different for you guys. Like I feel like so many people act like it's like we're living in 2 different worlds. Like I'm this and you're that, but it's like we all coexist in one similar fucking world. And something I've learned is like it is literally everyone's first time fucking living too. Like even the most famous person like sits there and thinks like, and I'm not saying that's me or I'm even close to that, but I'm aside from me and aside from what I do for work, I think like, or I know that even the most famous person ever sits there and is like, am I relevant? Like, am I cool? Am I weird? Am I this? And I think I want to build something and build a brand that's not only like my own brand, like physically, meaning like coming out with a product, but like a personal brand for just like who I am as a person and really just like find a way to like include you guys in my everyday life, whether that's like, I don't know, going on, I don't even want to say going on tour and speaking to people, but like meeting you guys and learning from you guys is like one of my favorite things to do in the world. Like each time I have a conversation with you, like it seriously warms my heart and I learn so much more about not only myself, but you guys. And like, there's every single one of you, every time you come up and say hi, I'm like, wait, can we go get a cocktail? Like you're all just such amazing, beautiful people. And so what I want to build in the future is just like, I just don't want this to be so serious. I don't want it to be like, this is my job and you are my client. Like we are in this together. Like you gave me this life I have, to be quite frank. So I would love to come out with something that benefits the both of us. Like obviously I'm not going to do something and just be like constantly losing money. But when I do come out with a brand, it's not in a money hungry way. It's in a way to like better the world, better the space, and like make something fucking happen. Like I was even thinking when I said I wanted to come out with a brand, like coming out with like an agency, like a digital agency, like influencing, like you have all of them and more. I don't know. Just, I think in the future, I want to see a lot more of the influencer world and the people who follow them, like becoming one, you know, instead of it being so like, oh my God, you watch me. Like, how about we watch each other? You know, I don't know. I think it would be really cool to do that in a way, whether it's like somehow doing weekly FaceTime calls or like whatever the fuck it may be, or getting you bitches on the pod. Like, I just think that'd be so cool to hear your guys' stories and talk to you because like, I'm fascinating, but I'm sure you guys are fucking just like, not just as shit, give myself some credit, but I'm sure you guys have shit you could talk about too and stuff you could say. Like when I see your guys' DMs and you guys say stuff to me, I'm like, get this bitch a mic, get this bitch on the pod. Like you guys have some whack ass fucking stories. But in terms of like actual physical things, I definitely am going to be creating a brand with my mom very soon. So that is something to look out for. But yeah, stay hot, stay true to yourselves. And I think that really is what my brand's about. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you can find me on YouTube at Davis-Row. You can find me on Instagram at DavisRow_, and you can find me on TikTok as Diva Davis. I love you guys and thank you for watching.